Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Building an Empire State of Mind podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jennifer Champion. Carly Grunman is your other host. She is currently in the air flying to Boise. So I am jumping on here today. I'm going to talk about how we go about choosing our market when we're looking to invest. So when I first started as an investor, our goal was cash flow. So we made sure that we were looking at markets where you were, buying for a really good price, and then those units were cash flowing. And we basically, my husband and I reverse engineered our goal. So our goal was to get him in order to be able to leave his government job. So what we did is we, sat down and saw that we needed X, and then we looked at how many doors we had to buy cash flowing $250 a door in order to get that. So that was a really great strategy. And the first market that we picked and did that in worked really well for us. And then as time went on, we have started building locally where we live, which is a very equity heavy market. So that's been great. You see great increases in property value. Unfortunately, when you're holding rentals in the beginning until there is that mortgage pay down, you're not seeing a lot of cash flow. So for us, having the combination of both has been really advantageous. So building in an equity market, selling, and then being able to take that capital, go to a market that cash flows, and buy larger buildings. Definitely when you are first starting, it really comes down to your goals when you're choosing your market. If your goal is you want to be an investor, you want to make real estate your full-time career, you want to be searching out markets that are cash flowing and maybe not pay so much attention to capital appreciation, the building appreciating a large amount, right? Even like 3% a year would be great, or not at all, even just like being able to keep the same property value, but have that monthly cash flow. And then once you've reached that goal and you have been able to replace your income, then you start looking at, how do you get into those equity heavy markets? Because that's where you're going to see, your net worth really increase and all of those other factors when you're in an equity driven market. What is another factor? So other factors when choosing a market, you really want to look at like economics. So job factors, who's opening, manufacturing plants, is Apple moving there? Is there a Starbucks nearby? There's an actual Starbucks theory that a lot of investors, they go where there's Starbucks because Starbucks pays so much money into research and development that they're not going to open a location somewhere where there isn't those like economic drivers. So being able to look in the surrounding areas and sort of like bedroom communities outside of those popular towns to be able to pick up houses and properties a little less expensive, but then you're going to be able to see the cash flow and as well as get equity just because it's a developing market. Another factor in choosing your market is definitely work with a property manager or your real estate agent, whoever has the knowledge around rents. So when we first started buying in our cash flow market, I knew exactly what renovations were going to cost me, and I knew exactly how much a renovated unit was going to rent for and how much even unrenovated units should be renting for. So it was very easy to go in, analyze those properties, see what I could be doing, even if I wasn't renovating a property. Some landlords just didn't increase rent over a certain amount of time. So there was that appeal as well. So definitely knowing all of those. Oh, yes. Says the analogy of Starbucks. It's true, though, because Starbucks pays a lot of money to to search that out, right? So you're just sort of piggybacking off of things that have already happened. Another thing in choosing your market, it definitely depends on your strategy. So if you're doing, buy and holds, being around schools, all those sort of things are really helpful. If you're doing Airbnbs, you definitely, you want to be close to airports. You want to be close, to things to do, right? Like if you're going into Disney World, you want to be close to Disney World. You don't want to be, an hour drive away from Disney World, because then that's not going to appeal to the clientele that you're trying to push into that rental property. The other thing, let's see, when choosing your market, I think also just, again, it comes down to population density, but making sure that you're not trying to go rural with those sorts of loans. They're not as appealing to lenders. So you're going to have a harder time trying to finance buildings if you're trying to do the more traditional route without creative finance and everything. But I've definitely seen people running into that, or even refinances. If you get the first financing, but then you can't refinance out of maybe that more expensive money loan. What else? Oh, someone says, like the Waffle House of real estate. They're talking about the Starbucks analogy I made as well. Yeah, so really when it comes down to the market, I think your first thing you have to do is you have to establish, if you want to leave your job, then you need to go into a cash flow market. If you are in love with your job and you just want to do this sort of on the side, or whatever your goals are around that, then definitely playing with those equity markets, because you're going to be able to see such a huge increase sometimes in property values, which is always great, while you're still getting the mortgage pay down and everything like that. So yeah, this is just a very quick and to the point episode about how to choose your market. We spoke last week about sort of, your top 5 things are real estate 101 and how to get into real estate. So these little episodes are just going to be that broken down so that we can put this into really tangible pieces for everyone to take away. So make sure that if you take something away from this episode when you're listening to it, that you take a screenshot, share it, tag Carly and I on Instagram. My handle is Jennifer_champion_, and you also tag Building an Empire State of Mind. And have a great day. Thanks, everyone.